Hi there. Are you a business owner wondering whether you need to register your business to do business in a different state other than where your entity was formed? I'm Katherine Taylor, the lawyer for business owners, and I'm going to give you a few tips as to when you definitely should register your business to do business in another state, and a couple situations where it's not so clear and you might want to consult somebody. So first, before I even get into those, what does that mean? What does registering your business in another state mean? Well, let's say, for instance, you actually formed your entity in Maryland and you do business in Pennsylvania. Common occurrence here where I primarily practice. And what that doesn't mean is that you have to go form a separate entity in Pennsylvania. It just means that your existing entity has to register to do business in Pennsylvania, kind of like getting a license or a passport, to do business in that state. So your entity remains a Maryland entity, but you're just authorized then by the Pennsylvania State Secretary of State to do business there. So what are the situations where you should register your business to do business in another state? As I said, there are a couple of very clear situations and some unclear situations. So the situations are clear when you have a physical location in another state. That's a no-brainer. If you have an address and a brick and mortar location in another state, you definitely should register to business in that state or states if you have more than one additional location. Another situation is when you have salespeople who regularly go into a different state or territory. You may not have a physical location there, but you have people going into that state, on a continuous basis to engage in transactions. Another situation is this, and a lot of people don't think of this, but let's say you have a business partner or another owner, LLC, whether you're an LLC or corporation, and that person lives in another state and conducts a lot of the business that your entity does in that state. That's a situation where you really should think about registering that business to do business in that other state. What situations are not so clear? Well, the internet provides those kinds of situations where it's really hard to determine whether you do need to register to do business in another state or not. One situation is when you have an employee in another state. Happens very frequently, and certainly now with the teleworking that we do, it's probably going to happen a lot more frequently. So that's a situation where you really need to look at the specific state rules and determine whether you do need to register to do business in that state where your employees are physically located. Another situation is if you continuously sell products that are shipped into a particular state. Now, that doesn't apply if you're just an online seller and you ship into various states. But let's say, for instance, you are selling a specific type of product, let's say that is only used in coastal areas, and you continuously do business in Florida and Georgia and South Carolina, let's say. In that situation, you may need to register in those various states. Again, it might not be so clear. You need to look at those states' regulations to determine whether you need to register. The upshot is that there are definitely situations where you must register to do business, and there are a number of situations that are not so clear. If you end up in a situation where it's not so clear, I would love for you to give me a call. You can find my contact information at www.taylorlegal.com. Thank you.